I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
Please respect the chair's authority. The
I respect the chair's
gentlewoman-
authority, but the chair...
Mr. Homan!
You work for
excuse
me. I'm a taxpayer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the new and returning border czar, Tom Homan. Buckle up. If you're not supposed to be here, you're going to be leaving.
If Trump wins, this guy is going to be back running the border. And I want to remind you guys who this guy is when he sat down with AOC and AOC tried to grill him.
Yeah.
And watch what happened to AOC when she tried to grill a man who knows the law.
You'll hear the
Go ahead and
bartender.
watch it. It's just entertaining. Go ahead.
Recommendation of the many that you recommended family separation,
I recommend a zero tolerance.
which includes family separation.
The same as is whenever a U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Bartender.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from
Homan,
his
with
family.
all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
What?
When you're in the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay. So the
That's the
recommendation.
part.
Yeah,
So this guy, Tom Homan,
The best.
is one of the most feared men when it comes down to this because he knows the law. And to be a guy like that, you have to be as strong as he is to run it. If Trump gets elected, this guy's protecting your border.
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation policy.
I am not the author of this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo.
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation of the many that you recommended family separation,
I recommend a zero tolerance.
which includes family separation.
The same as is whenever a U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children.
She couldn't handle that, could she? When a parent gets arrested in the United States, they are separated from the child. Why should the border be any different?
From their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan, with
family.
all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're in the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay. Mr. Chair.
She can't handle the truth.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
I got a message. As a guy who spent 34 years deporting illegal aliens, I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. You better start packing now. You're damn right. Because you're going home. I got another message. Another message to the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggled enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every organization in the world combined. And that's when President Trump gets back in office. He's going to designate you a terrorist organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done.
Why should the cartels be treated any differently than an organization that put planes into the 2 buildings in New York City? You heard it right there. 148,000 people last year. That's more than any organization that put the planes into the buildings has taken out ever combined. Why should they be treated any differently? It doesn't sound like they're going to be, and Tom Homan is the guy to do it.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is it worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating?
She didn't answer that question. What price do you put on national security? What price do you put on your family's safety? What price do you put on sending your kid to school and knowing they're going to come home safely? What price do you put on that? Should school bus drivers be paid a little more? If you think about it like that, I'm thinking school bus drivers probably be paid a little more. I think teachers should be vetted a little more so they're not indoctrinating kids. They're actually teaching them reading, writing, and arithmetic, not which bathroom they want them to go to. Think about that the next time you go vote.
Families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Why can't they? Why can families not be deported together? Why not? If the whole family's here illegally, I'm sorry, but the whole family's here illegally. That's just the way it is. That is the facts. And there's a lot of people out there cutting all their hair off, getting blue bracelets that don't understand. More importantly, they can't cope with the facts. And we've got a guy coming in right now that is going to bring the facts.
You were saying that. I wish somebody in Democratic leadership would say that out loud. Look, you want to know why there's 50,000 people in detention? You want to know why we have 1 million illegal entries in the United States? You want to know why we have these issues? Because you have failed to secure the border. You have failed to work with this president to close the 3 loopholes we've asked for 2 years to close. So if you want to know why this issue exists, you need to look in the mirror. You have failed American people for not securing the border and closing loopholes.
Mr. Homan, please respect the chair and the authority of the chair. The time of the gentleman has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go beyond my time, and you let other people go beyond their time, but not to Tom Homan. He don't get me go beyond his time.
Mr. Homan, we have approved an agreement between the Republicans and the Democrats with the ranking member. We increased the time of one member of Congress who was interrupted by a protest. That is done with the approval of the ranking member. Please respect the chair's authority.
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Homan!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling pretty positive about what's going on right now. Donald Trump has already appointed a female White House chief of staff, first ever. Now he has appointed Tom Homan as the border czar. Just so funnily enough, while I was making this video, Tom Homan went on Fox and Friends, and what he says is going to blow your damn mind. If you thought the southern border was chaos and needed a new sheriff in town, he's here. If you thought you could continue to bring people in from the southern border and get them to vote blue, the game's over. They're losing. This is a game changer.
Well, I think, look, it'd be great to have local law enforcement assist ICE because, one thing we learned during 9/11 report was we shouldn't have stovepipes. Law enforcement should be working with law enforcement. But, there's 2 things. Number one, under President Trump, he was suing the sanctuary cities, DOJ suing the sanctuary cities, pulling federal funds. Of course, day one, when Joe Biden came in office, he stopped that lawsuit. So that has to be put back in place. And look, I've seen some of these Democratic governors say they're going to stand in the way. They're going to make it hard for us. Well, a suggestion. If you're not going to help us, get the hell out of the way if we're going to do it. So if we can't get assistance.
Apparently, Gavin Newsom wants to secede from the union. California, break away. Be my guest. I will donate for that to happen. Because when California secedes from the union, they take 54 electoral votes with them. And guess what happens? Democrats will never win another election. Never. Goodbye. Get out.
From New York City, and we may have to double the number of agents we send in New York City, because we're going to do the job. We're going to do the job without you or with you. But it's much easier to arrest a bad guy. Like I just said, we're concentrating on public safety threats of human and national security threats. Right. It's much easier to arrest a bad guy in the jail. Give us access to Rikers Island that we've been kicked out of. Let us get the bad guy in the jail. It's safer for the alien. It's safer for the officer. It's safer for the community. But if you don't release these bad guys, if you don't release these bad guys out in the community, then we're going to have to go find them, which puts the officer at risk, puts the community at risk, and puts, and bottom line is, it's no one, sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. And the left keeps saying.
Sanctuary cities are probably one of the biggest problems in the United States. How many of you would like to see Donald Trump defund all federal taxpayer money to sanctuary cities? You want to get rid of sanctuary cities? Cut off the flow of cash. San Francisco, cut off the cash. It's already happening in New York. It's already happening in New York. This is beautiful.
Migrants staying at Albany hotels now need to leave 3 weeks earlier than planned.
Time is getting shorter for 400 migrants staying in Albany's Ramada and Holiday Inn Express to leave. In October, they were told they need to be out by December 31st. Now it's December 10th and December 13th. New York City saying they'll be closing 10 sites outside of New York City, but staggering the date so those who go back to the city's arrival center have proper resources. A spokesperson tells us our staff is on hand to help guests at our upstate shelters plan for next steps over these next 2 months, and those without an exit plan by December will be offered temporary placement in New York City. City officials say they've housed more than 220 migrant families from upstate hotels since 2023. Now, these individuals may soon need to navigate new policies, too, as President-elect Donald Trump has put mass deportation on his agenda.
We have this thing in the United States called civil liberties, and everyone has them regardless of immigration status, as well as our rights that are protected within the U.S. Constitution.
Tiana Freeman-Tolbert.
Look up asylum. When someone seeks asylum, they're supposed to seek asylum in the nearest neighboring country. So there are people coming through the southern border that are from Africa, Kenya, Rwanda, fill in the blank. How is the United States the nearest neighboring country? We have people coming from China. How are we the nearest neighboring country? The only way that works is Mexico and Canada. And right now, everyone's wanting to flee to Canada. So you're probably not seeing a lot of asylum seekers from Canada. The people coming from Mexico should be Mexican citizens coming into the United States to seek asylum. We should not have people from Saudi Arabia, Iran, Yemen, Venezuela, fill in the blank, seeking asylum here in the United States. And if they do, they need to seek asylum through the legal ports of entry, not just in a caravan with thousands of people storming the southern border, which is what is happening. And that's why I believe this election in Arizona is so important, because it keeps the flow through that area. And certain people want to keep the flow happening. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to. And New York is already closing and kicking these people out of hotels. Hey, you're on your own. Next up, you're going to see Chicago do it. You're going to see Seattle. You're going to see all of these major cities that are going to go broke because they are running out of your money. Your money pays for this. No one else's. The United States government does not make money. You make money. Their money is your taxes. That's where your taxes are going.
An immigration attorney says situations like this have made an impact, as they've been seeing many who have delayed in filing immigration applications because of their focus on just getting the essentials. And in a sign that influx is indeed decreasing, the Albany Airport Inn, which was where the first bus of individuals came in the middle of the night back Memorial Day of 2023, no longer houses any migrants, rather is back open to the public completely.
What do you think about this, ladies and gentlemen? Is Tom Homan the answer? I think he's part of the solution. And there's going to be other things put in place to secure our border, secure our sovereignty. 41% of Latin Americans voted for Donald Trump. They came here legally, they did it the right way, and they want everyone else held accountable to the standards that they went through and the laws and rules that they abided by.
Amen. Hallelujah. And boom shakalaka.